Good morning. Welcome back to the Linda. The hottest ticket in town. To say goodbye to Rosemary Armao, who you're going to be with us tomorrow. It's going to be kind of.
I did get a letter saying, didn't we already say goodbye to her? How much longer is this going to go on?
It's Rosemary's farewell to her. Last day on the air is the 15th of May, so there you go. Let's go to a couple of topics and do what we actually do on the show, which is talk about issues. Again, I just want to remind you our new panel, Rich Honan, Barbara Smith, Teresa Bourgeois, of course, joining Alan, myself, and Rosemary Armao. We thank you all for being with us. Actually, before I go any further, because I don't want to get finished and not remember this, we've been blessed when we decided to do this. We invited all of you, and you came, which is great, and we sold out tickets like in an hour and a half, which is just terrific and incredible. And then everybody from the community started calling and saying, well, what can we do? What can we donate? What can we do to make this event special? I just want to thank those folks right now. First of all, Wolf's Beer Garden in Albany for their incredible brand. The waffles, the pastries, the food, and you have made this room smell better than it has ever smelled before. And I thank you so much for that. I was showing the audience during the break, and Rosemary's actually going to get a piece of her cake in just a moment, but the most beautiful chocolate cake, Rosemary said, I want a chocolate cake. And that is how we got her to do this. So let's say nice things about her. Was bribed her with chocolate cake. And Grishon Bakery in Albany, who is a dear friend of the station, helps us every fund drive, has done so much for us, called up and said, we would love to make the cake for Rosemary, and they did a gorgeous job. There are going to be pictures online, and you all can get Jason from it. It is absolutely beautiful, and we thank them so much. Also want to thank Hudson Valley Hand-Cut Scones for their beautiful work this morning. You can't have a goodbye party without scones. To our dear friends at the Argyle Brewing Company who provided beer. Rich said he wasn't going to come without beer. We had beer this morning. And so my thanks to them. They're in, the Argyle Brewing Company actually isn't in Argyle because that's a dry town. So, so they went to Greenwich and they actually just opened a new location in Cambridge and the train depot. And we thank them for donating beer for us this morning. That was very sweet. Thank you to them. And so a big hand to all of the people who provided the wonderful meal for us. All right, now, let's go to what we are here for, and that is to talk about events. And so James Comey said he was mildly nauseous over the idea that he swayed the election. What does the panel make of that statement? Were you mildly nauseous hearing that, Rosemary?
I was more than mildly. And he said he had to do it and would do it again because the results of not doing it were catastrophic. And then the news reports end. How would it have been catastrophic? Oh, yay. Okay, I'm done talking. Yay wasn't about let's be clear, yay wasn't about Comey. No, it was not about Comey. Someone just handed me the most enormous piece of beautiful chocolate cake that I have ever seen.
That is
who do I sound like? Who am I imitating? It's this! President Trump is the most beautiful piece of cake. And I am not selling the country down the river to some dictatorship by saying that. I think Comey is completely selfish. He still is seeing this entirely in terms of him. He is nauseated. He is upset what it did to the FBI. He still does not grasp what he has done to the country. Still does not grasp that he did not treat those two investigations the same, very differently. Still is equating an email server issue. Hillary didn't handle it well either, don't get me wrong. But he made it sound, and the press added on that it was the worst thing in the world. Actually, she was never hacked. It wasn't all that bad. She never passed information that was indisputably classified. Our whole classification system could use a look at. That became the issue where the other candidate is complicit with the Russians. And that somehow is like now a minor issue. Sean Spicer is allowed to laugh about the whole thing that we're still thinking about it at his news conferences. I agree with her and the authors of the book Shattered. I know, Joe, you've looked at that book too.
Yeah.
They looked extensively at what caused the loss. Hillary made tons of mistakes. None of us are unclear about that. But she would have won if on Halloween he had not come out and said, oh, we're reopening the investigation. That did her in. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just a quick plug, Jonathan Allen, who from Bloomberg News, who was the co-writer of that book with David Parnas, will be our guest at 11:15 this morning.
Yeah, that's worth listening to. They're really interesting. Of course, they've been all over TV. Why didn't you get them first?
I was waiting so we could run it on your day.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was my present to you.
You know, I think... I think Rosemary has it exactly right here, and we don't always agree, but KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I mean, it is simple. On one hand, you have these verschlungene emails.
I love when you talk Jewish.
It's so rare.
And on the other hand, we have the simple matter of, getting in bed with the Russians, and Putin, the dictator. And he comes on from the very beginning, and he gives us a whole bunch of clues. He says, I love this guy, and he's terrific, and we can do this, and the rest of it. And his own generals, by the way, have contradicted him on this again and again and again. So on the one hand, we have the Russians here. I'm putting my hand way up in the air for the radio audience. And then we have the emails here. I confess to you that I never drink, and I drank a glass of champagne. So that's a little bit dangerous. So,
the staff is just waiting to see what happens. We're very excited about it. We're all texting odds.
So one and one makes two. He talks about the emails, Comey, and he doesn't talk about the Russians.
Yeah.
So what's that about, except that we can all sort of guess what his motivations were. It may be that he was a little stupid. It may be that he was compromised. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, he was a bad dude here. And by the way, there's a guy with a black suit and an earbud.
That's our security. It's for Rosemary. It's Rosemary security detail. Rich.
He's coming to Amman with me.
I'm uncomfortable sitting on the far left.
That wasn't on purpose at all.
First, on Comey, I do agree with Rosemary to this extent that I think Comey's angsting is just so unseemly. You made a decision, live with the decision, but don't. It's not therapy. I mean, don't keep telling us about it over and how hard it was and what a rough day you had. I'm tired of hearing about it. You made the call. Maybe it was right, maybe it was wrong, but live with it and move on.
It was definitely wrong.
I would second that.
Yeah, I do see some distinctions between the admitted culpability of Hillary herself and the alleged culpability of people surrounding Trump, none of which seems to have reached him himself.
Oh yeah, he didn't know at all what General Flynn was doing.
In discussing.
I would have approved his talking to them if I knew. Yeah, he doesn't know anything about it.
What an interesting audience. I'll leave you.
And
You are so outnumbered, Rich. I love it.
And thanks to Walt's Beer Garden, they brought fruit so that you can hurl that at Rich too.
I do appreciate the beer, though. So thank you for that. But no, I think that's part of it. I would like to, just from corporate governance, I would like to see the FBI handle their investigations in a uniform way. So either you talk about it or you don't talk about it. But I got to say, from my side, which is right now the left side, but from the right side, I have to say, when you engage in conduct, you open a door and you have to accept what comes through that door. And Hillary engaged in conduct a lot. I think everybody agrees it's something that she probably could have done differently. Yes. Now, whether it was criminal or not, we'll argue about forever. You guys don't think so. I'm not sure. But when you engage in that kind of conduct, don't come to me and tell me that you're having trouble with the consequences of it. That was her. That's on her.
And Trump?
I don't know yet what conduct he has engaged in.
Well, we know.
All right,
So,
whoa. We have to take a break. I know. I apologize. We're going to take a break. We're going to hear from the BBC. We're going to have a quick break. We're going to come back, and then I want to. Please, when we come back, you just start moaning again. And then I want to get to Barbara.
I'll lead you.
Barbara and Teresa, and get your thoughts as well. We'll be right back after this break.